Hello everyone, Susie Lee Lowe checking in on a live stream. We're going to be testing out two things tonight, and hopefully I've got my stream going out to Facebook and YouTube right now. So yay, if you're checking in and looking onto my video, go ahead and give me a comment of where you're watching from. I would love to know where you're coming from. So like I said, we're trying out two new things. We're also going to test out some watercolor on my coloring book, Floral Phrases, to see how the paper withstands my watercolor. So let's see now. I'm Susie Lee Lowe. Like I said, if you haven't met me before, I am a coloring book author. I have my Floral Phrases here, but I am also a laser engraving artist and I do laser cut jewelry. So here is a necklace featured from my coloring book. So let's go ahead and get ourselves started here. Tonight I'm working with Kuretake watercolors. I love this set with my watercolor pen. So I'm going to go ahead and move this over and get myself all set up. Now this is a very daring thing I'm doing because usually with watercolor you're not going to be using a normal coloring book. But I have actually used watercolors in my daughter's coloring books, which has a very even thinner paper. Typically, I like to print out my coloring page on at least 65-pound paper, and then it can actually handle a lot of my watercolor. So here we go. Let's see now. Open up our book, and I'm going to go ahead and test this out at the very back of the book, because if this doesn't work out so well, I don't want to ruin my book. I've already got my frog tape taped down, so it's securing it down to my artboard. And then I'm going to bring over, this is where I like to have my paint palette. So it's a nice ceramic tray that I use for mixing everything. And I am going to just do a wash with yellow to start, because my logo, which is this imagery here, is actually yellow, that you will find in a lot of different things out online right now. So I do not want too much water. I want just enough damp. And I lost my feed. Darn you, silly feed. It just stopped my camera. Let's see, how can we fix this really quick? Alright, it looks like we've got our feedback here. So let's go ahead and get back to it. I have yellow, and I am just going to wash the yellow over quickly. I also have paper behind this that's going to keep it from soaking through too bad. So if I actually was working it in the middle of my book, that paper behind it is going to keep it from soaking through. It's got a glossy finish that I actually chose to put there. Start to see it bleeding through a little bit, and I see the imagery on the other side. Only the blotter pages have two-sided image. The rest of the book is all single-sided, so you don't really have to worry about ruining any illustration on the back of a page. So let's see. I'm starting to get nice yellow looking here. Here, I want to use a different color than the yellow. So how about we just use some of this pink color? I'm going to add some water to my brush and reactivate my pigment here. I'm going to stay very light, and I'm just tinting the page. just enough. Then later I plan to go over this with some gel pens. This is just the start to do a quick test and see how it takes my water. Alright, there we go. Look at that. It definitely took the water. Okay, I can feel it starting to wrinkle up. Up here where I started out, I started at the bottom. And it's still cold and chill, so I definitely don't want to apply any more to that. But I think I'm pleased with how that started out. I just got to take it easy, and if I keep going, I'm going to lose a little bit of that paper integrity, and I might start getting it balling up a bit. You know how when your paper starts to come apart and you get those little bits coming off of it? So we'll stop here, and then I'm going to go back to it. If I wanted to, I could keep coming back with my watercolor, but I think later I'm going to do some gel pen accenting just to play with it. So thank you everyone for checking in with me. Be sure to check out suzielilo.com to actually take a look at my coloring books. And I will be checking in with you guys again in the future. Thank you for tuning in. I am for now. I don't know how to turn it off though.